What do you have to say about the law of karma?
I have very little to say about but it will still take 2.5 hours. The law of karma, in the first place, is not a law. That word gives it an aroma as if it is something scientific, like law of gravitation. It is merely a hope, not a law at all. It is hoped for centuries that if you do good, you will attain to good results. It is a human hope in an existence which is absolutely neutral. If you look at the nature, there are laws. The whole science is nothing but discovery of those laws. But science has come not even to detect anything like law of karma. Yes, it is certain that any action is going to bring certain reactions. But law of karma is hoping much more. If you simply say any action is bound to produce some reactions, it is possible to have a scientific support for it. But man is hoping for much more. He is asking that a good action is inevitably going to bring a good consequence with it. The same with the bad action. Now, there are many things implied in it. First, what is good? Each society defines it according to itself. What is good to a Jew is not good to a Jaina. What is good to a Christian is not good to a Confucian. Not only that, what is good in one culture is bad in another culture. A law has to be universal. For example, if you heat the water at 100 degrees centigrade, it will evaporate. In Tibet, in Russia, in America, even in Oregon. In Oregon, it will be a little puzzle, but all the same, at 100 degrees, it will evaporate. A law has to be universal. If it is a scientific law, if it is a law created by people themselves, by creating a constitution, a legal system, then it is nothing to do with science and nothing to do with the existence. Then it is applicable only within that society that creates it. It is arbitrary, artificial. You can change it, and laws go on changing. Something was legal yesterday is illegal today. What is illegal today, tomorrow may become legal. These are man-made laws. Certainly, the law of karma is neither a scientific law nor part of any legal system. Then what kind of law it is? It is a hope. And man, wandering in immense darkness, groping his way, clings to anything that gives a little hope, a little light. Because what you observe in life itself is something totally different. a man who is a well-known criminal may succeed in becoming the president, prime minister, or vice versa. He was not a criminal before, but when he becomes the president or the prime minister of a country, he becomes a criminal. Lord Acton's famous statement, "I have thought from every possible angle, and I have found it always giving some new insight." Acton says, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I don't think so. Because I don't see. it happening with the way Lord Acton is saying. But Lord Acton was giving his whole life's experience. He was a politician himself. And what he was saying is not unfounded. Still, I dare to disagree with him. Because my understanding is power certainly corrupts, but it corrupts only a person who was potentially corruptible. He may not have been known as corrupted before because he had no opportunity. He had no power. But power itself cannot corrupt a man who has no potential for corruptibility. So it is not the power that is corrupting the man. In fact, the power is simply revealing the man to you. The power is making actualized what was only potential. He is exposing the person to you and to himself. If you see in a mirror and you see an ugly face, are you going to say that the mirror corrupts? The poor mirror simply reflects. If you have an ugly face, what the mirror can do about it? I have heard about a mad woman that whenever she will come across a mirror, she will immediately destroy it. She was ugly. But her belief was that mirrors are the reason of her ugliness. If there is no mirror, she is not ugly. Perfect logic. In a certain way, she is not being absolutely illogical. If she was alone on the earth, no mirror, no eyes, because eyes are also mirrors. Do you think she would be ugly? Alone on the earth without any mirrors, without any eyes to mirror her, she will be just herself. Neither beautiful nor ugly. But she will still be the same. What change has happened is now she cannot see her reflection. Nothing has changed, only the reflectors have been removed. The same is true about Lord Acton's famous dictum: power corrupts. It seems so. I would like to say power mirrors. If you are potentially ready to be corrupted, Power gives you the chance. And if you are absolutely potential, an Adolf Hitler, a Joseph Stalin, a Mussolini, then what power can do about it? Power is simply available to you. You can do much with it. If you are a corrupted person, you will do what you always wanted to do, but you had not the power to do it. But if you are not potentially corrupted, then it is impossible for power to corrupt you. You will use the power, but it will not be corruption, it will be creation. It will not be destructive. It will be a blessing to people. And if you have the potential of being a blessing to people, then absolute power will be an absolute blessing in the world. But man's life has many strange things in it. Only the potentially corrupted person moves towards power. The potentially good person has no desire for power. The will to power is the need of a corrupted being, because he knows without power he will not be able to do what he wants to do. Adolf Hitler first wanted to be an architect, but all schools of architecture refused him because he had no potential for an architect. He could not even draw a straight line. He wanted to become an artist, if not architect, then artist. But no school will accept him. Because if the school of architecture is not going to accept him, art, particularly painting, needs even more caliber. And he had no caliber for art. Disappointed from everywhere, rejected from everywhere, he started moving towards power. His will to power was really strong. A man who was not able to become an architect or a painter became so powerful that the whole destiny of humanity was in his hands. But you will be surprised to know that the first thing that he did after he became powerful, absolutely powerful, was making designs for buildings, architecture. And he made many ugly structures. And the government has to make them because no architecture was ready even to accept that these designs are worth even a second look. But if they are coming from Adolf Hitler, you cannot reject them. Their rejection will mean your death. Because that was the only language he knew. Either you are with me or you are no more. It is one of the blessings of the Second World War that all his great buildings were destroyed. Otherwise, he would have left those ugly structures. But his designs have been found, and they are enough proof that this man was simply had no qualities to conceive buildings. The moment he became powerful, in his spare moments, he was painting. And of course, now everybody has to appreciate his painting. And none of his painting was worth calling a painting. They were just wastage of canvas and color. Without any significance. Not only that, they were ugly, nauseating. If you had kept his painting in your bedroom in the night, you would have suffered nightmares. Power brings into actuality what is hidden in you. But strangely, the good man has no need to be powerful, because good can manifest without power. There is no need for good to have power. It has its own intrinsic power. The evil needs some outside power to support it. Khalil Gibran has a beautiful story. This single man has written so many beautiful stories that there seems to be no comparison in the whole history of man. This story is a very small story, and that's where Khalil Gibran's beauty is. He does not write big stories that can be made into films. His stories are few lines, but penetrating to the very depths of man. The story is God created the world and He created everything else that was needed. He looked around and He felt that two things are missing: beauty and ugliness. So the last He created was beauty and ugliness. Naturally, He gave beauty beautiful clothes, and to ugliness ugly clothes. And He dropped them from the heaven to come to the earth. It is a long journey, and by the time they reached the earth, they were feeling tired, dusty. So the first thing they decided is to take a bath. It was early morning, the sun was just rising. They went to a lake and dropped their clothes on the bank and both jumped into the lake. It was really refreshing, cool, and they enjoyed. And beauty went swimming far into the lake. When she looked back, she was surprised. Ugliness was missing. She came back and she found that her clothes are missing too. Then she understood what has happened. Ugliness has taken the clothes of beauty and run away. The story ends. Since then, ugliness is hidden in the clothes of beauty, and beauty is compulsorily wearing the clothes of ugliness and running after her, searching. But she has not been able yet to find her. It is a beautiful story. Ugliness needs something to hide itself behind. To pretend, to have a false mask, beauty had not thought about it at all. Even the idea has not occurred to her that this is possible, that ugliness will steal her clothes and run away. The man who has the heart throbbing with goodness, with blessings, feels no need that he has to be the president or the prime minister. He has no time to waste into this ugly game of power politics. He has enough energy that good brings with itself. He will create music, he will compose poetry, he will sculpt beauty in marble, he will do something for which power is not needed. All that is needed is already provided to him. That's the beauty of good, that it is intrinsically powerful. Let it be very clearly understood that anything that needs power from outside, you can be certain it is not good. It is something which is intrinsically important. It will live on borrowed life. So in life, this strange situation happens. Bad people reach to good positions, become respectable, are honored, not only in their time, but history is full of their names. In history, Gautam Buddha, Mahavira, Kanad, Gautama, Alausu, Chuangtasu, Lihtasu. People like these you will not find even in the footnotes. And Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Temurlen, Nadir Shah, Napoleon Bonaparte, Adolf Hitler, they will take the major portions in the history. In fact, we have to write the whole history again. Because all these people have to be completely erased. Even their memory should not be carried, because even their memory may have evil effects on people. A better humanity will not give these names even place in footnotes. There is no need. They were nightmares. It is better to be completely forgotten. So they don't follow you like shadows. And we have to discover people who have lived on this earth and made it in every way beautiful, shared their joy, their dance, their music, shared their ecstasies, but lived anonymous. People have completely forgotten even their names. People don't have any idea how many religious people have lived on this earth and are not known. Those few that you know, the reason that their names are known is not that they were religious. There are some extra reasons. Just think, if Jesus was not crucified, would you have ever heard his name? So it is not Jesus, not his qualities, not his goodness, but crucifixion, which makes him a historical figure. You know, Gautam the Buddha, not because he was an enlightened man, but because he was the son of a very great king. And when a son of such a great king renounces the kingdom, of course, the whole country far and wide buzzes with his name. Not because he is religious, but because he has renounced such a big kingdom. The same kingdom that you are aspiring and dreaming for, perhaps for many lives. And this man has some guts. He just dropped the whole kingdom without ever looking back. That's why you remember Gautam Buddha. Somewhere they have to mention his name because he was a king. Who renounced the kingdom. If he had been a poor man's son, then nobody would have ever heard about him. And there have been many whose names are not known at all. Even while they were alive, only few people came to feel that they have a different kind of presence. Goodness has its own intrinsic power, and it has its own benefit, blessing. It is not somewhere else in some other life that if you do good now, in your other life, you will get paid for it. That is a strange kind of law. That's what law of karma is. If you are having a poor, miserable, suffering life, law of karma says it is because in the past life you committed evil acts. This is the result of it. If somebody is enjoying good health, money, power, all the joys of life, you need not be jealous of him. He has done good deeds in the past life. Now he is reaping the crop. He has sown the seeds in the past life. But why so much distance between sowing the seeds and reaping the crop? Always in one life you do good or bad, and another life comes the result. To me, there seems to be some conspiracy in it. It is not a law, it is a conspiracy. Because the priests could not manage to explain why somebody is rich when everybody knows that what he is doing is evil. And still he goes on becoming richer. And we know that somebody is good, but he is starving. So, what good is good? Now, the priesthood is in a difficulty. How to explain this situation which is occurring everywhere. Good people will be found in every corner, of the earth. Poor, starving, suffering, bad people will be successful. Cunning, who are ready to cut anybody's throat. who have cut many people's throats, who have been stepping up people's heads towards power and riches, who have used people, as if they are things. They have all that really should belong to the good people. How the priest is going to explain it away. He has found a way. The law of karma. He cannot explain it here now. He shifted the whole scene. He made death come in between your actions and their results. Results will be after the death in the next life. But why? You put your hand in fire and you will be burnt. Into next life. If you put your hand in the fire now, you will be burned now. So any priest, any monk, anybody coming from the east talking about law of karma, take him to the fireplace and tell him, put your hand in the fire. So we can see whether the law of karma works here now or it takes so much time that death is a necessary thing first to happen and then result. Action, death, result. Death has to intervene absolutely. And I know he will not be ready to put his arm into the fire. That's why I said I don't have much to say about it. Just very little. Two words. Boo, boo. Now I will have to explain you what is boo, boo. It is an Iranian story. If I am not mistaken, Senator Fatfield had gone to visit his constituency, and this particular place he was visiting was a reservation for Red Indians. And here he used to come only once in 5 years. Just when the election was coming closer, and the Red Indians had become perfectly aware that he comes once every 5 years, promises great things and then disappears. And those things never appear again. Again he appears after 5 years. And again the same game. The Red Indians are simple people. The chief of them gathered them all into one place that used to serve as their common meeting place. Senator Fatfield. Started the same promises that forgive me that last time there were so many difficulties, so many problems, financial depression, and so many wars that I could not manage to make the bridge on the river, the road to your reservation. Good houses for you. And each time he will say a bridge, and they will say boo, boo, and they will rejoice and almost start dancing. And Fatfield was feeling very good. Seeing that they are appreciating, and they will clap and shout and scream and boo, boo. That gave him more incentive and more inspiration, and he gave free reins to his imagination that I will make a hospital, a college, a university. When one is simply going to promise and never to fulfill, it does not matter what you promise. You can promise paradise, you can promise anything. And actually, that's what he said, that within 5 years you will see this place will be a paradise on earth. And they all shouted, boo, boo. And Senator Fatfield was very happy, so happy that he said to the chief that I would like to go around the reservation to see if anything else is needed. He said, that's okay, just one thing. These Red Indians are absolutely childlike. They use the whole field like it is an open toilet. So, if you are going around, I have no objection. Just be careful not to step in boo boo. But it was too late. Now he understood the meaning. What is boo boo? This laugh karma is nothing but boo boo. And you understand the meaning now, so there is no problem. To me, certainly each action has its result, but not somewhere far away in future life. The action and the result are continuous. They are part of one process. Sowing the seed and reaping the crop, do you think are separate? It is one process. What begins in sowing the seed grows and one day the one seed has become thousands of seeds. That's what you call your crop. It is the same seed which has exploded into thousands of seeds. No death is intervening. No afterlife is needed. It is a continuum. So, the one thing to be remembered is in my vision of life, yes, every action is bound to have some consequences, but they will not be somewhere else. You will have them here and now. Most probably, you get them almost simultaneously. When you are kind to someone, don't you feel a certain joy, a certain peace, a certain meaningfulness? Don't you feel that you are contented with what you have done? There is a kind of deep satisfaction. Have you ever felt that thing when you are angry? When you are boiling with anger? When you hurt somebody? When you are mad with rage? Have you ever felt contentment or anything similar to it? Have you ever felt a peace, a silence descending in you? No, it is impossible. You will feel certainly something, but it will be a sadness that you again acted like a fool. That you have done again the same stupid thing that you have decided again and again not to do. You will feel a tremendous unworthiness in yourself. You will feel that you are not a man but a machine. Because you don't respond, you react. That man had done something and you reacted. That man had the key in his hands. And you just danced according to his desire. He was powerful over you. When somebody abuses you and you start fighting, what does it mean? It means that you don't have any capacity not to react. Gurdjieff's father was dying. His last words to Gurdjieff are immensely significant. Perhaps no father has ever advised his son with such a great insight. And Gurdjieff was only 9 years old. So the father said, I know you may not be able to understand right now what I am saying, but I have no more time. I have to say it now. But you have time, just remember the words. Whenever you have maturity enough to understand what those words mean, then act on those words. But don't forget, remember, a simple sentence it is. He told Gurdjieff to repeat 3 times the sentence so he can die peacefully. And he said, forgive me because I am not leaving any inheritance to you except this sentence. And what was this sentence? A very simple sentence. He said, remember that if somebody creates anger in you, tell the person that you will come after 24 hours to answer him. And for 24 hours, wait. And after 24 hours, whatever comes to you, go and do. Strange advice, but not strange if you understand. And this simple advice changed Gurdjieff's whole life. This single sentence made a man like George Gurdjieff. That kind of man is created in centuries. But the old man must have been a man of great insight. He left nothing else. He said to his son that now you will have to look after yourself. Your mother is dead, I am dying. You will have to earn your bread, you will have to learn things on your own. A 9-year-old child. But this became a great opportunity for him because he started moving with nomads. He was born near Caucasus in Russia. Still, there are nomads, wandering tribes. Even 60 years of communist torture has not been able to settle down those nomads because this they consider to be man's birthright. And perhaps they are right. Nomads all over the world believe that it is the woman who has created the house. Man has made it, but it is the woman who has tethered the man to the house. Otherwise, man is basically a wanderer. He would have liked to move. A tent was enough. A tent, a horse, a bullock cart, that's enough. And who bothers to live in the same place year after year? The nomads go on moving, few days here, few days there. This 9-year-old child, having nothing else to do, joined a nomad group. And then he started moving from one group to another. He learned many languages of the nomads. He learned many arts of the nomads. He learned many exercises that are not available to civilized people anymore. But nomads need them. For example, it may be too cold, and to live in a tent and the snow is falling. Nomads know certain exercises of breathing that change the rhythm of the breath, and your temperature of the body increases. Or if it is too hot, you are passing in a desert, then change again to a different rhythm, and your body has an automatic inbuilt air conditioning system. Gurdjieff learned his first lessons of hypnosis in these nomads groups because the wife, the husband, both are going to sell some things into the market, into the village. What to do with children, small children? These nomads have used hypnotism for centuries, they will just draw a round circle around the child and they will tell the child, till we return, you cannot get out of this circle. Now, this has been told for centuries to every child. From the moment he could understand, he has heard it. He is hypnotized by it. The moment it is uttered, the moment he sees the line being drawn around him, he simply relaxes inside. There is no way to go out. He can't go. Gurdjieff was very much puzzled because he was 10, 12 years old now. And what nonsense is this? And each child in every nomad camp is just surrounded by a line, and that's all. And the father and mother disappear for the whole day to work in the town. By the evening they come. The child is inside the circle. He started how it happens, why it happens. And soon he was able to figure it out, that it is just a question of your unconscious accepting the idea. Once your unconscious accepts the idea, then your body, your conscious mind have no power to go against it. In his own exercises that he developed later on, when he became a master, he was using all these nomad techniques that he has learned from strange people, uncivilized, with no language, no written alphabet. But very primitive methods they knew. And he was surprised to see that hypnotism works not only on man's child or men, because those children will become young, then too it works. They will become old, then too it works. It does not change by their age. He used to play around old people, drawing the circle, and the old person will shout that don't do that, don't do that. And before the circle is complete, he will jump out. If the circle is complete, then it is impossible. You are caught. And this boy, who knows when he will come back or not come back. When the circle is half, something is open, you escape, then you are saved. Otherwise, you are got into it. And he many times succeeded in making the circle complete. Then even the old man will just sit down, just like a small child, and will pray to him that break your circle. He used that technique in many ways, and many other techniques that he learned from those people. He used to have an exercise called stop exercise. He had exhibited all over the world, particularly in America and Europe. He will teach dances, strange dances, because nobody knew those dances, that Caucasian nomads dance, strange instruments, strange dances, strange foods that he has learned to make. His asrama near Paris was something just absolutely out of the world. His kitchen was full of strange things, strange spices nobody has ever heard, and he himself will prepare outlandish foods. He had learned all those with those nomads. And those foods had a certain effect. Certain foods have certain effects. Certain dances have certain effects. Certain drums, instruments have certain effects. And he has seen that if a certain music is played around and people are dancing a particular dance, then it is possible for them to dance on burning, hot, red coal, and still they will not be burnt. The dance is creating a certain kind of energy in them. The music is creating a certain kind of energy in them, that they can escape the law of fire, which is a lower law, certainly. If consciousness knows something higher, it can escape from lower laws. All the stories about miracles are nothing but about people who have come to know certain higher laws. Naturally, then the lower laws don't function. He had seen all these things, he had experienced, and he was a child, and children are very curious. And there was no father, no mother to prevent him from anything. So he was experimenting with everything, every possible way. And once he was finished with one nomad group, he will simply move to another group, because the other group had other things to be learned. He developed all his exercises out of these nomadic people. This stop exercise was tremendously significant. Perhaps one of the greatest contributions to the modern world, and the modern world is not aware of it. He will tell his disciples to be engaged in all kinds of activities. Somebody is digging in the garden, somebody is cutting the wood, somebody is preparing food, somebody is cleaning the floor. All kinds of activities are going on, with one condition, that when he says stop, then wherever you are, in whatsoever posture you are, you stop dead. Don't be cunning, because then the whole point of the exercise is lost. For example, if your mouth was open, and seeing that Gurdjieff is not here to see, you can just close your mouth and be at rest, but you have missed the point. Your one leg was up, you were just moving, and one was down. Now, come suddenly the call is stop. You have to stop, knowing perfectly well that soon you will fall down. You cannot stand on one feet long. But that is the whole point of it. That whatever the consequence, you simply stop as you are. Just become a statue. And you will be surprised, such a simple exercise gives you so much release of awareness that neither Buddha, nor Patanjali, nor Mahavira were aware of it. That such a simple exercise, it is not complex at all. When you become just a statue, you are not allowed to blink the eyes even. As you are, the moment you hear the word stop, it simply means stop and nothing else. You will be surprised that you become suddenly a frozen statue. And in that state, you can see yourself transparently. You are so constantly engaged in activity. And with the activity of the body, the mind's activity is associated. You cannot separate them. When the body completely stops, of course, immediately the mind also stops, then and there. You can see the body frozen as if somebody else's body. You can see the mind suddenly unmoving because it has lost its association. It is a simple psychological law of association that was discovered by another Russian, Pavlov. But Gurdjieff knew it long before Pavlov. He was not interested in psychology, so he never worked it out that way. But Pavlov also got the idea from the same nomads. But he moved into a different direction. He was a psychologist. He started working on the lines of the law of association. He will give the food to his dog, and while he was giving the food, he will just go on ringing a bell. Now the bell and the bread has nothing to do with each other, but to the dog they are becoming associated. Whenever he will give bread, he will ring the bell too. After 15 days, he will simply ring the bell and the dog's tongue will start hanging out, ready for the bread. Now, somewhere in the mind, the bell and the bread are no more two separate things. Gurdjieff was doing far higher work. He found the simple way of stopping the mind, which in the East people have been trying for centuries to concentrate, to visualize, to stop it. And he found through physiology. But it was not his discovery, he just has found those nomads were doing it all the time. He will shout, "Stop," and everybody will freeze. And when the body suddenly freezes,